We just got some major Bills injury updates, and this has some serious implications for the Bills' upcoming game on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's talk about it all right here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bills Digest. I'm your host, Anthony Senicar, and we are officially in the full swing of the Bills season. There's only one issue. 73% of you guys who are watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. Subscribe, join the army here at Bills Digest to stay in touch with all your latest Bills news, because we got you guys covered from wall to wall. And like I said, guys, we just got some major Bills injury updates, and this has some very serious implications for the Bills' upcoming game against the Kansas City Chiefs at Highmark. So let's take a look at the Bills' official Thursday injury report. Some big names are on this list. Terrell Bernard, who was active last week for the Carolina Panthers game, was a soft bench and a emergency fill-in. Had a full practice Wednesday and Thursday. Joey Bosa was full as well. Ray Davis was full on Wednesday. He was DNP, but that was because of an injury. Daquan Jones, who is still recovering from that calf injury, did not practice Thursday or Friday, so leaning towards probably not going to be playing on Sunday for the Bills. Matt Milano had a full practice, so that is a good sign. Joshua Palmer had a limited practice, so that is kind of pointing towards him possibly playing, but we will see. There was some other news in the receiver front, so maybe that's a sign of what's to come. Jordan Phillips was a full participant on Thursday. Matt Prater, who was limited in back-to-back days, so we will see what happens there for the Bills in their kicking situation. And a big name now on the report is starting linebacker Shaq Thompson, who was a DNP. Those are some very big names on that injury report. Majorly, Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano are in play to play next week, or to play this week against Kansas City, so that is a good sign. But if we are not going to have Shaq Thompson, Joshua Palmer, or Daquan Jones, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Kansas City Chiefs attack our offense. On top of that, we had some other big news. Let's not forget, earlier in the season, the Bills signed Gabe Davis to the injury practice squad. Well, he has been elevated from the injury list on the practice squad to being a full participant in the Bills practice squad, which kind of points towards a potential of a Gabe Davis reunion come Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. When Gabe was speaking to the media, mainly that of Sal Capaccio of WGR, he mentioned that he has been running for the past few weeks. So it looks like that the Bills were taking this injury slowly, and it looks like Gabe might be on track to play this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs, which would be massive because, as we all know, the Bills are lacking desperately in the receiver category, and this might allow the Bills to pause the brakes on Joshua Palmer, kind of ease him back. Don't rush him back from an injury. You give Gabe Davis the Joshua Palmer slot, and then you kind of go out with the rest of your infantry of receivers against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, going from the Bills injury report, let's take a look at that Kansas City Chiefs injury report, because there are some big names on there as well. Some notable names on there. Again, we only have the Thursday report right now. There's no we only have the Wednesday report. Have not had the Thursday report come out yet, but some notable names being Isaiah Pacheco with a knee injury, Hollywood Brown, who was sick. Both of them did not practice. And then Trey Smith, the starting guard for the Kansas City Chiefs, was limited on Wednesday. So we will see where the news goes for that of Trey Smith, Hollywood Brown, and Pacheco. It looks like Pacheco's probably not going to play, because if you look at Kareem Hunt, who was their other starting running back, was a full participant, so no need to rush back Pacheco for a regular season game. On top of that, some other big names, Juwan Taylor and Nick Bolton, the starting pass rusher or linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, were both full participants, as well as tackle Juwan Taylor. But Pacheco might be a big one, as well as Hollywood Brown. But again, if Hollywood Brown still is just sick, I have a feeling that he will be playing for the Chiefs come Sunday and this Kansas City high-powered offense. We're talking KC, so let's get into it. Let's start and take a look at that Kansas City Chiefs offense, which seems to be hitting its groove currently, and that is a scary sight for a Bills defense that is struggling right now. Looking at the stats, Kansas City has a record of 5-3, which is third in the AFC West. Had a very slow start, but their offense is picking it up now, averaging about 26.8 points per game, which is seventh best in the league. Their rushing attack is averaging about 126.5 yards per game, which is ninth best in the league. A rushing attack that was struggling earlier in the season, now kind of finding its groove. Passing attack is is averaging about 251.8 passing yards per game, which is fifth best in the league. And they're kind of taking the everybody eats mentality, and what did they call it? The everybody feasts, or everybody's got to eat. Something like that. Rashee Rice now is back, and you got Hollywood Brown. You got obviously Travis Kelce. You got Xavier Worthy, the player that the Bills traded away to get Keon Coleman. All those guys are eating right now, and copyright, quote unquote copyright, with the everybody feasts or whatever the hell they call it. But their offense is hitting their stride right now. They're averaging about 378 total yards of offense per game, which is fifth best in the league. Still a very good third down team at 44% third down percentage. Phenomenal red zone team at about a 70.59% red zone TD rate, which is fifth best in the league. And as always, Mahomes is not turning over the ball, averaging about 0.5 turnovers per game, which is third best in the league. Obviously, led by future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. On top of that, Pacheco's leading the way, who might not play, but Kareem Hunt is not a running back to take lightly. It is going to be very interesting to see how the Kansas City Chiefs attack this Bills defense, who had a good game last week against the Carolina Panthers. We're getting after the quarterback. Hoyt looks like a very, very key piece to what the Bills want to do on the pass rushing side of the ball. But again, Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano have both been struggling. Shaq Thompson, who has looked like the Bills' best linebacker, did not practice on Thursday, was limited on Wednesday, so we'll see what comes out on that Friday report later today. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens there on that side of the ball, because right now, either Terrell Bernard was an emergency start last week, but still, it seems like that of a soft benching. He is a captain on your team, but he didn't look that bad, but again, he's struggling. Matt Milano, still a guy who Bills fans we know and we love, but has also been struggling. We'll see what happens there if they try to kind of zero in on that struggling Bills linebacker and try and get the ball out very quickly. On top of that, the back end of the defense, Mad Max is back, so we'll see what happens there. That might allow the Bills to kind of get into man coverage, because if you're going to play zone, Rashee Rice is going to find the weaknesses in your zone, and Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice will target after that. But Mad Max allows you to kind of play man now if you really want to. Plus, with Benford and Taron Johnson, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Bills and Bobby Babich, as well as Sean McDermott, who sort of seems like to be playing the defensive play calling duties. We'll see how they want to attack this Kansas City Chiefs offense, which looks like it is coming back to life fully. So very much a very interesting test for this Bills defense. They're going to have to get a few stops, and they are going to have to go back to what they did last year, which was forced turnovers for the Bills offense to get opportunities, because on top of this offense for the Chiefs, their defense is not a slouch either. Their defense, passing defense, third best in the league right now, allowing on average about 177.8 yards through the air and only 8 total touchdowns through the air. Rushing defense, middle of the pack, quote unquote, 11th ranked best in the league, allowing about 100 yards per game from the opposing rushing attack and 6 touchdowns on the ground. This could be an opportunity for Jimbo and the Bills to establish a run and get the passing game going. Again, a middle of the pack defense. You still got a Hall of Famer there in Chris Jones, but if you can go after that rushing defense, which is middle of the pack right now, you might be able to get something there, because their total defense right now is top 5 in the league, which is 4th best in the league. at 277.8 yards of total offense allowed and 15 touchdowns. And as well, they're allowing the second least points against at 16.4 points against per game and 15 touchdowns. And the red zone defense is about middle of the pack, allowing a TD rate at 57.89%. The Bills' offense right now is struggling. The passing game is struggling. And it's going to be a very big test for the Bills and the receivers to see if they can get after this Kansas City Chiefs defense, who is a very good pass defense. You got some dogs on that other side of the field. And Steve Spagnuolo and that defense is infamous for playing physical and getting and jamming the receivers up tight and throwing blitzes when you think they're going to blitz, but they still get through. So it's going to be interesting to see how the O-line and Josh handles that blitz, how the receivers try and get after these cornerbacks from the Kansas City Chiefs. Separation has been an issue, has been a talking point for the past few weeks. We'll see if Gabe Davis gets that call up, because again, Gabe Davis has history against this Kansas City defense. Obviously, the 4-touchdown, 200-plus yard game in that divisional round. Numerous regular season touchdowns against them. So again, we'll see what happens there if Gabe gets the call up. Keon is in a rut right now. I'm hoping he gets out of it, but right now it seems like the world is against him. This would be a big game to have a statement 100-yard receiving game and kind of say, hey, I can play ball in this league. Shakir with a screen game, we'll see what happens there. I think the Bills need to establish the run, get the play action going, and kind of stifle that pass rush and that blitzing from the Kansas City Chiefs with a solid rushing attack and put themselves in positions where it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and short, or 2nd and shorts. Because as long as you're playing the game where the sticks are short and you're not putting yourself in situations, in obvious passing situations, at a 3rd and 15, a 3rd and 10, that does not allow Spagnuolo to get the blitz after you, allows your receivers to kind of not have so much pressure. There's not going to be as much man jamming guys at the line. This kind of lets the receivers get a bit of not rest, but kind of leeway where it's 3rd and 5. Hey, we can hand that ball off to Jimbo, or we can get a quarterback power with Josh, or we can get something going in the play action game or the RPO game. So going to be a very interesting test for the Bills against this Kansas City defense. It seems like they haven't really played a solid defense since the Ravens game. Even then, it wasn't really a solid defense, but this is a real test for the Bills as a whole. This is a real gut check game for the Bills as a whole. Honestly, this is a must-win game for both teams. Again, Kansas City loses this game, they move to 5-4, still 3rd in that AFC West, and still chasing the Chargers chasing the Chargers as well as the Denver Broncos, and kind of puts themselves in an interesting situation. On the flip side, for us and the Bills, you're still chasing the Patriots now down 2 games. Obviously, still want to get the 1 seed, and hopefully the Colts fumble or stumble on the way. So it'll be a very interesting game for both teams and a real gut check game to see what the Bills' offense and defense really, really looks like. On top of that, looking like it is going to be a very good day for some football. Some rain beforehand and rain after, but on Sunday, it looks like it is going to be about 11 degrees and no rain. So very much a nice day for some football. 4 o'clock Sunday cannot come fast enough. And looking at the betting odds right now, Kansas City is obviously favored. The over-under set at about 52.5, and the spread is at 1.5. Again, this matchup is always a good matchup, usually is the game of the year. Last year we had Josh's MVP run, or kind of the stamp to solidify himself in the MVP lead with that 4th down run that got him a touchdown. Looks like everyone is betting heavy on Kansas City, and the Bills thrive when they are the underdogs, and it looks like they are going to be the underdogs this Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. I am fired up. Let me know down below in the comments, guys. What are your guys' thoughts? Give me a score prediction. Give me what you guys' thoughts on what the Bills, how they can attack this Kansas City offense as well as this Kansas City defense. Do you guys think this is the week we see Gabe Davis get a call-up? Do you guys think that this is a big week for a Kincaid, for a Khalil Shakir, for a Keon Coleman? And do you guys think, without a Shaq Thompson, do you think Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard and this defense can get after the quarterback with the pass rush and this new look secondary and reworked Bills defense from after the bye with Sean McDermott calling plays with Bobby Babich? Is this going to be a big showing for the Bills, or is it not going to be? Let me know down below. What's your score predictions? What are your thoughts? Love to hear from you guys as always. On top of that, we just passed 1,000 subscribers. We are on the road to 2,000. So if you're not subscribed already, subscribe down below. We got you guys covered for all your latest Bills news. The trade deadline is just around the corner. We got you guys covered for all your latest Bills trade rumors because there have been a ton. As always, guys, subscribe, stay in touch, stay informed, and go Bills.